Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to your new Jackrabbit Illustrated B-Team spin-off show.
Scared money don't make money.
That's right, folks. Scared money don't make money. The spin-off show from the B-Team with Ben and Brendan making their picks against the spread just like old times, with the addition of Alex Kenkel and his computer model that is featured weekly on JackrabbitIllustrated.com. As usual, the B-Team and all Jackrabbit Illustrated podcasts are live on the Jackrabbit Illustrated Facebook and Twitter pages, along with being live on the FCS Fans Nation YouTube channel. Also, if you don't catch us live, be sure to tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or any major podcast outlet in between. As always, the B-Team is brought to you by our title sponsor, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. If you need a tractor, utility vehicle, construction equipment, zero-turn motors, parts, service, and more, there's always a Kubota dealer near you with 8 locations across the great state of South Dakota. Stop in today and get yourself into some orange equipment. And we would also like to thank our segment sponsor, Cubby's Sports Bar and Grill in downtown Brookings. If the Jacks are out of town and you need a place to watch them, head on down, get some Chislick cheese curds, beer, and burgers. And now, without further ado, scared money don't make money.
What is up, everybody? We got a special guest on, the Rev. Thank you for filling in for Brendan. Brendan had to take care of some stuff. Looks like he's got something that Brendan sent him.
There you go. Free Brendan.
That thing is sick.
I know. If it wasn't still 85 degrees, I'd be wearing it, but it's 85 degrees in November, which is stupid. So let's put that there.
I'll trade you.
Yeah, we'll take some of that. It's getting a little chilly up here. We do have to thank our show sponsor, which is Cubby's. Cubby Sports Bar and Grill in Brookings. The best sports bar in the world, I think. Got all the TVs you need. Great food, great nachos, great atmosphere. I believe
Are nachos not food?
Well, I'm just making sure that,
I'm just giving you
that
crap.
people know they have awesome nachos. I believe the coaches show is going on there tonight, I think.
Yeah, because of basketball. So
Yeah. So probably packed right now for the coaches show. But yeah, if you ever are hungry and want to watch some sports, go to Cubby's. It's the spot.
It'd be a place to be Saturday if you can't make it up to Grand Forks or aren't getting together with some other buddies as I am. We were originally going to go to Grand Forks, and then we've been traveling a lot lately, and our kids don't do great in the car, and it's like 1 o'clock kick. It's like, yeah, getting our toddler and infant in the car to leave at 6 a.m. Have to pass on that one this go around.
Yeah, I would imagine Cubby's is going to be packed on Saturday. Are we? Do we miss out on the FCS Game of the Year? Should we have picked Drake at St. Thomas?
I mean, I can try to boot it up.
I'm just kidding. We don't need to do that.
No, Bob Morris and Duquesne is going to be a fun one to watch. That's the one you should have picked. Drake will beat St. Thomas by 30.
That's true. We had to stick with. We've only done ranked matchups all year, so we're sticking with it. There's only one other ranked matchup outside of the MZFC this week. Just getting through these comments. Everybody loves seeing Rev on here, especially Ray Gronowski. All right. With that, let's go ahead and recap how we did last week. After I fixed my spreadsheet, Alex, I'm pretty sure it was you. Going in, I've got this huge spreadsheet with a bunch of equations, and Alex goes in there and just starts entering values into overwriting all my equations.
Long story short, I did not go to accountant school.
I'm gonna have to restrict your access to the spreadsheet from now on. But no, we had Mercer winning a big game against East Tennessee, 37-31. And they did not cover. ETSU covered that one, didn't they?
I told you guys that was going to happen, and you all looked at me silly.
You were right. You were right. Indiana State. This one was a shocker. I think Brendan called it a spicy meatball of the week, and he was right. And we were all on it. Indiana State taking down UND. They were 23-point underdogs. and they beat UND 35-31 outright. I wonder what the odds on that would have been. That would have maybe like 10-1 or something like that. It would have been a pretty payout. Illinois State. Go ahead.
I was gonna say at halftime, didn't you text us and say I should have put 1 month's mortgage on Indiana State money line and 6 months on them to cover?
Yeah, yeah, should have. I mean the spread was a lock. That was just a dumb number. I don't know if that's the FCS Sportsbook number. I don't know if that's what it actually was like.
It was pretty close on what pick your poison. I want to say FanDuel's who I checked, but
yeah. Which I hate that nobody puts out spreads until Saturday morning now. That's so dumb. Sometimes they're like Friday night, but they must have been losing some money on FCS games. Then we had Illinois State taking down Youngstown State 23-16. Youngstown State did cover though. We had Missouri State beating SIU 38-17 and covering. NDSU covering against UNI. Oh, excuse me, that one I had backwards too. NDSU beat UNI 42-19, but UNI did cover. And then SDSU covered against Murray State 52-6, which that one went about exactly how I thought it would. I think I said Murray State's going to score about 6, and we're going to get over 50, so I'll take credit for that. To recap the records, I am 39-40-2. The model is also 39-40-2. Brendan's only 2 games ahead now, 41-38-2. And Alex is a pretty comfortable lead at 46-33-2. Yeah, so that's what happened last week. Rev, did you get a chance to watch any FCS games last week, in particular the ones we just recapped?
I had to do some catch up because I was out of the country, but I went back and watched the North Dakota and Indiana State game just because that was so sexy. That was just it was like a nice filling, hot cider. Just it was great to watch. And but no, it was a good week of football. So looking forward to seeing what we get to call this week. And I was gonna have a question: do my picks count for Brendan's, or is he gonna get to send his separately?
I told him we're gonna have to take his for the official record. You do get to pick, and we'll keep track of it. And if you beat us, we'll send you something. But
I'll have International Dustin Helton Day on the show next week.
Yeah. Did you watch that episode last week when the governor was on?
Yeah,
not the governor, the mayor.
The mayor was amazing. Yeah. I want to run. I want to run for mayor now. I think Brendan and I should at the same time run for mayors of our respective townships and go after it. Get some I figure if at that point if we become mayor, then there's a certain podcast that no one gives a hoot about that would at least give some more respect to people's names. But it's just me. Just thought.
Jesus, Kevin. Take it easy. Anyway, with that, let's go ahead and roll right into JIAI,
which is brought to you by Blue Tide Car Wash. You're in Brookings for a game in the Sioux Falls Metro, go to Blue Tide. Got to got to meet Rick Jensen in person last week at the tailgate. Don't know why I was drawing a blank on Rick's name there. Great guy, great supporter of us, and great business. Spend your money there and get your car cleaned. It's going to be time soon. We're going to have a lot of salt on the roads before we know it, and we all know what that does in the Midwest here. So,
Brendan Rees watching you. You better clean it up. Jamie is here for JIAI, and that's what the people want. That's what they're going to get. Yes, Jim, JIAOS, Sean, and Joe. There are some Hack City additions to JIAI this week. We have to start with Brendan recommended this intro. I had forgot about it, but here we go.
AI. What's the A stand for?
Artificial.
What's the
Intelligence.
Oh, what was the A again?
Let's move on.
Anyway, love it. Love Halo back in the day, by the way. Alex, did you ever get to play Halo in the dorms?
Yeah, Halo wasn't new anymore, but enough of us. I was a PlayStation kid, so we didn't play a ton of Halo at my house, but obviously had buddies with Xboxes, and some guys had their old Xboxes at school, and yeah, we're going way off tangent already, garage time already, but we had like this one game mode. We like made like a lacrosse thing on like this map, and yeah. Anyhow,
No, it was great playing AI in the dorms. Rev, were you a Halo guy too?
Yeah, we used to play at SFA. Our dorms, because there's still LAN. You would basically, if your first floor, your LAN to the second floor, so you could only play those two floors with each other.
Sure.
Yeah. But no, it was fun. We had a blast with it. So
Jamie Brendan had some family stuff to tend to. Oh, there he is.
They wanted an upgrade.
Had to make a run to the hospital. Yeah, we were sick of Brendan. No.
Jeez.
He is super young. You're right, Beth. He was probably he was playing like VR Halo by the time he got to college. I love this. We got people putting in their favorite video games: Contra, Star Warriors, Super Nintendo, and Atari.
Yeah. I am a good bit older than Patrick, but I did play the crap out of some Star Wars, Battlefront, and Madden growing up.
Man, NHL 93 and NHL 94 on Super Nintendo were my games. Loved those games.
Hey, Nate, here's the deal. We don't get to pick which games. Nate says if I take Brendan or Ben's advice, I have less than a 50% chance to win. We don't get to pick which games we pick, so it's tough. It's tough out here. Try it for yourself. Oh, Mario Kart and
GoldenEye.
Love that.
Play some slappers. That'd be great.
Jim was a Pong and Pac-Man guy. Ooh, Oregon Trail. Hell yeah. NHL 94.
Yep.
All right. Let's continue with the JIAI. Obviously a Hack City themed JIAI, so I had to go with a Hack City inspired logo. We had the mayor of Vermilion join us last week. It was like Beetlejuice. We said his name too many times and he showed up. I don't know why. It also kind of looks like the Joker, but that's what AI wanted to do. If you listen to the A-Team, Chad was talking about how warm it is over in Mankato. So I got a picture of Jalis hanging out in balmy Mankato, Minnesota. We had Mercer taking down the Mercer Bears, taking down the ETSU Buccaneers. Look at me, I'm the captain now. We had the Trees crushing the Postal Service workers. The Redbirds carrying away the Penguins. The Bears. I don't know. That's kind of a Saluki dog. And he's wearing the sock lookies, which I enjoy. We had the Bison stomping on the Panthers, who are just struggling this year. Yes, Chalice. If you, Seth asked Chalice. Yeah, that you'll have to watch the A-Team. But Chad accidentally called Dallas Chalice. Dallas likes it. And then we had the Rabbits turning the Murray State Racers into glue. the Murray State themed glue bottle. With that, let's roll into the Hack City Boys. They wanted another Dallas. Don't worry about it. I don't know why, but for some reason, JIAI doesn't always make consensual pictures. But anyway, the first one, I fed it a picture of them and said that Joe was saying something ridiculous and Sean was reacting, and this is what it spit back out.
Pretty sure I slept with that at one point in college.
The Joe is pretty spot on, but it made like
it did something weird to Sean. It does look like Joe though.
Yeah, it does look like Joe. Sean looks more like Steve Buscemi having a bad day.
I just listened to Hack City tonight, and they were joking about Sean picking against Montana. Here's him trying to get off the plane next week after he picked against Montana.
So they're next week, right? They're there.
Yeah, next week. I don't know why they're this week against UC Davis, but anyway, they're going when Montana's playing Portland State instead. I'm sure they'll still have a good time. Had to throw. They always love jabbing at each other. Had to throw this one in there. This is a little skinnier version of Sean, maybe after he loses a few pounds. Pretty accurate Joe again, though. Yeah, I like it, Joe.
That looks like bobblehead doll Joe.
It does.
This one, I tried to tell AI to put Joe throwing up into the toilet, but it decided just to put him in the toilet, and I thought it was funny, so I just left it in there in commemoration of his trip to Brookings.
The free bar 3M whiskey online 2 shoulders.
I don't know what's going on there. Joe doing his McDonald's challenge. Sure he's going to hate this one. It made him look like a child again. And for what it's worth, I did not put in a child at McDonald's. I just fed it up pictures of Joe and Sean, and this is what it spit out. So complain with AI, I guess. This Joe's probably not going to be happy about this one either, but commemorating when Sean lost his bag on the train. But man, it did Joe's forehead dirty. That's a rough.
That's
look.
not a forehead. That's not a forehead. That's a 5 head.
Oh, at least.
That's just full on receding hairline.
Yeah. And then we of course, have Big Thumpy, which is Brendan's new nickname. I'm sure he'll enjoy this one. There you go, Ariel. Eat your heart out. And oh yeah, this was my favorite one. It's not AI, but I had to create it. It's Brendan's face on Notorious B.I.G. I love it when you call me Big Thumpy.
That's amazing.
That GIF will live forever. What'd you say, Rob?
That's absolutely amazing.
All right. We'll save. I got a few more, but those are for the UND game. All right. Well, let's get into. Yes, Brendan, I will get you that. Don't you worry about it. He likes it. Jamie said Joe looks like a chemistry teacher. All right. Where did my lines go? There they are. So this week, we got one out of conference game. We've got UC Davis going to Montana. Montana is a 5-point favorite at home. I don't know what I'm going to do. So, Alex, you go ahead and tell me what the model says.
Model says Grizz by 6.05, so it is going to take the Grizz to cover. Not by much, but it does think they'll cover. I don't know. This is tough because it's in Wa Grizz. If this was at Davis, I would honestly take Davis to win, but that 5-point spread's tough because Wa Grizz is worth that. The only thing that's going to make me lean on Davis, if you've been following my Red Shirt Sports Bout, stuff like that, I am pretty high on Davis, is Montana's defense still hasn't looked impressive against any really good competition. And Miles Hastings and Lane Larson are both really good players on the UC Davis offense, their quarterback and running back. And I think even if they maybe don't pull off the win, I think they can keep it pretty close running up and down the field with the Grizz. So Model will take Grizz. I will take Davis.
Rev, what do you got?
I don't know. I've been torn on this. I like Davis. I kind of been wondering how much of a paper tiger Davis might be this year. And I think this may be the first sort of like reveal of if they are or not. I mean, Larson's probably the best all-purpose back in FCS.
Yeah.
He's so damn good. But you know, it is at Wa Grizz. It's November. You know, that tends to lean towards Montana's favor. My heart, I want Davis to win because I want them. I think they could if they're not a paper tiger, they're definitely one that you could potentially see semifinal type game this year in the playoffs. But it's hard to pick against Montana at home, so I think I would take the Grizz to cover.
I'm going to agree. I think that UC Davis is a paper tiger, and I think that Montana. They started out early with those. They should not have lost to UND. I don't know how they lost that game, and then they lost to Weber State. I think Montana's got things going. I'm a little worried about their 2-quarterback system that screws teams up sometimes, but it seems to be working for them right now. But yeah, I will take Montana here. Kevin thinks Davis. He thinks it's a bad matchup for the Grizz. We'll see about that. Patrick thinks it comes down to the quarterbacks. Trusts Hastings more than he trusts Fife and Ayat. That's true. I do like Hastings better, but I will trust Montana's defense. And let's see. Garrett says it's November at Wagriz. I mean, that's huge. I think that has to be taken into account in this one. Brendan, if you want to make your picks and you're watching, you go ahead and put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll get them later. Jamie says, I'll take Montana. Davis has been escaping. And Jamie says, Hastings and Larson both playing Peyton-level football, so if they can control possession, Davis can frustrate them. This is true.
Jamie, election season's over. You don't have to play both sides anymore.
All right. Alex, the model took Montana. You took UC Davis?
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. The first Valley game we've got is Youngstown State going to Southern Illinois. And Southern Illinois, as bad as they've been, is favored by 2.5 at home. What's the model say?
Model surprisingly also says Salukis, but just 1.95. So it will take Youngstown to lose but cover. I disagree strongly. Well, I don't disagree that Youngstown's going to cover. I think Youngstown wins this one outright and comfortably. SIU's ready to turn their pads in, and Youngstown's kind of been playing with some pep in their step. They've been figuring some things out. Brungard's really been, playing well the last several weeks. Like I said, I think Youngstown doesn't just win outright. They win by 1-2 scores pretty comfortably.
Rev, looks like you're taking some stray shots here in the chat.
I know, man. Like this is the closest I can get to, Scandinavian. Okay. So just, all right. No, like I think I just hope both teams have fun this week because this is I don't think it's going to be SIU anything. They're just had such a bad year with injury decimation and things like that. It's hard to not pick Youngstown State, so I will definitely follow that. Also, I think Youngstown State wins by at least a touchdown.
100%. I'll say it for Brendan. This is a spicy meatball. I think Youngstown State covers easy. I think that they're actually playing pretty good football right now, and Southern Illinois has just given up on this season. So Youngstown easy. I'm actually surprised they're not favored.
Hey, Kevin, I know that you can't grow as good a facial hair as a lot of people. Just remember that the man doesn't grow the beard grows the man. Just can help you out.
Love it. All right, next up we've got Missouri State going to Murray State, and Missouri State is a 24-point road favorite.
Model says Bears, but only by 21.85, so it will take the Racers to hang tough and cover. I don't know. You said 24.5?
24.
24 even? Close enough. Gosh, that's tough because as we saw against us and even a little bit NDSU, Murray State has moved the ball okay, and Missouri State's offense is firing, but their defense is not. So I see Murray scoring some points and hanging with them. I don't think they'll win by any means, but I talked myself into it. Why don't you give me the Racers to cover 24?
Bold move.
It's
Rev?
bold. That's bold. Honestly, I think Murray State football should race back to the Big South OVEC, but yeah, I mean, granted, that decision is made more for basketball. That I digress. Anyway, no, like Murray State has shown some promise. I mean, I can't believe that bum of the South Dakota State defense let them score on them. But I'm gonna take Missouri State to cover. I know the game is in Kentucky, but I think Missouri State's gonna cover. I think Murray State's just not there yet. So.
I'm torn. 24 points is so many, but man, Murray State just hasn't looked good. Although they have played all right against teams that aren't in the top 3 of the country, top 3 or 4 anyway. I'm going to take Murray State to cover as well. I didn't like it at first, but I think it's just too many points, and yeah, I'll bank on their offense. Their offense was showing a little bit. I think they can do enough to cover here. Next up, we've got Illinois State going to UNI. This one, in my opinion, is another spicy meatball, but Illinois State is only favored by 5.5 at UNI, who is having a rough year.
Model says Redbirds, but by 3.96. So Panthers cover. I'll have to disagree here. I think UNI is another team that has kind of given up on the season, and Illinois State has a lot to play for. If they win out, it's going to be real interesting what the committee does, because they'll be 9-3, but with 2 ranked wins. If they finish 8-4, even where they could be in that 9-16 range gets interesting too. But anyhow, that's separate topic entirely to the game itself. Give me Illinois State to cover a pretty small spread, in my opinion.
Rev, what do you got?
Yeah, UNI sucks. That's all I'm going to say. They just suck. It's time. I know there's a certain friend of mine who's UNI guy who will disagree. It's time to get rid of Farley. It has to be at this point. Like, this is getting ridiculous. I know the donors and all that stuff love him, but come on, look how bad UNI has just been.
It's not all his fault, but at the same time, they need a facelift.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They need a facelift. They need something new. They've been driving that same 99 Toyota Corolla for now. It's time to get a fancier new ride. So no, give me the Redbirds easily.
Seth Meyer disagrees. He says UNI wins outright. That's quite the call.
That's a brave call. I like that.
Chris Howard says it's usually where ICR trips up, but take the Redbirds. Taylor, if the beard grows the man, I'm a 41-year-old child. I do like the suggestion of Missouri State and Delaware just playing a game in over New Year's or something like that, just for fun.
They should play it in Kennesaw Stadium so they could be ready for the crowd that would be there to care about that game.
Right.
Love it. All right. I will agree. Illinois State, I think this line is way too low. I would take Illinois State all the way up to probably 13.
I was going to say 10, but still.
Yeah, getting them at 5.5 seems like a gift. So we'll go Illinois State here. We'll gain another pick on the model. Yes. All right. Indiana State, who is showing some life this year, going to USD, and USD is a whopping 33.5 point favorite at home. That's a lot of points. What does the model say?
Model says USD by 29.67. So it is going to take The Trees to cover for the third week in a row. Did you read by the numbers this week, Ben? No, I know you didn't. That's okay.
Not yet. I will. It just came out this morning.
It did just come out this morning. Well, if you're on the newsletter, we're supposed to schedule stuff, and I've gotten lazy with it. As soon as I'm done, I just post it right away, and I send the tweet out in the morning. So it gets posted at like 11 p.m. on Wednesdays if anyone really wants early access. But anyhow, there's 5 teams left eligible for the Missouri Valley Conference football title. Do you know who they are?
I can probably guess, yes. NDSU, SDSU, USD, Illinois State, and Indiana State.
Missouri State, not Illinois State. But
I suppose Illinois. Yeah, I forget. I was thinking Missouri State wasn't eligible, but they are eligible for the conference championship.
Conference title, just not playoffs.
The one you said they will never win.
I said they will never. We got to go back to that. The Trees have a 99.99% chance of being eliminated from contention this week, but they can still show some part in this one. And with that said, give me the Oats. They're going to be out to prove a point. They had a bye week last week. Last time they were on the field, they lost a rivalry game in overtime. There's already some of the rumblings of if they lose to NDSU, do they fall out of the top 8 and lose a first round bye? The Oats are going to make a fool of an Indiana State team that has actually been playing fairly well the last few weeks. So, Model, Trees, Alex, Yotes.
Okay.
So, I'm not saying by any means that South Dakota is going to lose this game because they're not. They're going to win. But next week they play North Dakota. I think they're going to be looking past the Trees a little bit, coming off a bye, looking at another game like that. So I think the Trees will cover, but South Dakota is going to win it.
Jamie, you're taking USD to cover as well, huh? That is... Seth Meyer agrees. He said, agree with Alex. Coyotes are going to be out to make a statement.
They're out by 5 TDs. Yes, Kevin. They're USD's offense. Do not make it a point to judge their offense against what they did against SDSU because that is a top 2, and they're probably not number 2 defense in the country. Yeah. USD can move the football at will, and Indiana State won't be able to keep up.
USD does have a good offense and defense. I mean, they're a top 4 team in the country as much as it's
talent-wise. They absolutely are this year.
100%. Man, now you got me second guessing. I got to stick with it, though. I got to stick with my gut. Indiana State does enough to cover. That's so many, 33.5 points.
33 is ridiculous.
It is, but
that's so many points.
Given the talent disparity and the circumstances, I don't think USD lets off the gas the rest of the year at any point because it's kind of going back to the old BCS where you got to get those style point wins. I mean, that's really what they're looking at to try to hold on to a top 8 seed if they were to drop the North Dakota or North Dakota State games.
Yeah. Well, they tried to get some style points in the fourth quarter against SDSU, and they saw how that went.
That's fair.
I had to take a shot there. I'll stick with Indiana State. I think that's too many. But this is a line for like if Indiana State was like what they used to be, like a bottom dweller in the MVFC, and they're not that this year. So I see them sticking up for themselves here. Last but not least, we've got SDSU going to UND. The Alaris Center, always a tough place to play. SDSU is a 13-point favorite on the road. What's the model say?
Did you have more JIAI first?
I'll do it at the end.
All right, model says, good guys, 14.61, so Jack's cover. I don't know. The way UND's played the last 2 weeks, that seems like free money. But there's that weird Jekyll Hyde of UND home versus the road. I don't know. I think we win by like 10 or 12, but 13. I'll take the Postal Service to cover.
Really? That's a very Brendan-esque pick of you. Rev, what do you got?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it is at the mail sorting center in Grand Forks. UND just loves playing there, but I think there's still a gap between the two teams. I don't think SDSU is going to win by like I think they probably win by 14. So I will take SDSU barely to cover that spread. But yeah,
I just don't see how UND's offense scores more than 17, and the way that UND's defense has been playing, I don't see SDSU scoring less than 35. Their defense is just not good. I mean, yes, it's the Alaris Center, but at some point,
they've had some stinkers too. The games they've won. Now that I'm talking myself out of my own pick I already made, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ben, but the games they've won, it's been on the back of Gavin Zebarth and what's the other tailback? Isaiah Smith, I want to say.
Right. And whose hand does that play into?
Right, who has the best run defense in the country.
Yeah. It's too late to change your pick now. Yeah, I'll take SDSU by at least 17, but I wouldn't be 17 to 24. I think is the spread of victory here. I think we go up there and take care of business. I don't think we're scared of the Alaris Center. Mark's played there plenty of times, and I mean a lot of guys on this team have played there a bunch. So, yeah, I like Corey says here. UND will not be able to run the ball. Jacks by 2 touchdowns. I like it. 2 touchdowns or more. 100%. With that, we got to finish out JIAI. We've got a postal service worker running away from a herd of bunnies. Bunnies taking over a post office. And last but not least, we have Bubba on the hot seat up in Grand Forks.
Place of Boise State.
yeah.
I don't know where he was. He had a picture on a blue field somewhere. I don't know what that was about, but that's where I fed.
They did play Boise last year.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it was. But yeah, we talked about it before. Bubba's seat's got to be getting hot.
But they just gave him an extension in the offseason.
I know. Yeah, maybe they're probably screwed until his extension's out. But
I guess this is going to turn into a whole nother garage time conversation, but that's the thing people always talk about. Oh, this FCS team's going to fire this coach. This FCS team's going to fire this coach. I'll have to go check Twitter after this. Thanks, Jamie. But this FCS team's going to fire this coach. Most FCS athletic departments do not have the cash flow to buy out a coach's contract. However, UND is one of the ones that would actually, because all that hockey revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if they...
But it's even still, an FCS program buying out 3 years of a 4-year contract is just... Yeah. Jim, right. Don't get us going there either.
I just read the tweet. Sorry.
We're not going to give that guy any pub on our show.
No.
You can go check Twitter for that. But, yeah, I mean, the thing is UND, to finish out the season this year, they've got us and then USD and then Illinois State. They could finish the year on a five game losing streak.
Yeah.
Going
6 out of the last 7.
Right, going 5-7 after starting 4-1.
Yeah,
or 5-1. Sorry.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough. But anyway, Rev, thank you so much for joining in.
Thank
we
you, Dustin.
appreciate
you.
No
worries, guys.
Always good for hopping on a podcast. And we'll get Brendan big thumpy back on here in no time. All right, with that, where's Jim popping at? He
Yeah.
wants
Yeah,
us to
Jim-
keep going.
Jim must be bored.
Jim's enjoying that I'm on. That's what it is. Jim's
Yeah,
like,
he wants this thing to not end. There
oh,
he
there it
is.
is.
Here it is.
Appreciate it. As always, go big, go blue,
Go Jack.
go Jack.
Go Jacks.